Today, we're diving into a really profound idea, something that's at the absolute core of being human. It's that quiet, constant pull between what we want for ourselves and the path that life actually carves out for us.
This one sentence pretty much says it all, doesn't it? There is your will, and there is my will. It perfectly captures that universal struggle we all feel, the one between our own personal desires and what feels like a grander, maybe even a divine plan. So let's unpack what that really means for us.
I mean, every single one of us is walking this tightrope every day. Our hearts are just brimming with wishes, with big ambitions and little dreams. And they're important. They guide our choices, they fuel our actions. But we've all been there, right? That moment when reality, or maybe a higher will, steps in, and things just don't go the way we had it all mapped out.
So first up, let's really explore this clash of wills, because this dynamic is what shapes, well, pretty much our entire lives. Okay, let's break these two forces down. On one hand, you've got my will. That's us. It's often immediate, you know? It's driven by our emotions, by what feels good or right in the heat of the moment. But then, on the other hand, there's your will, which represents that divine plan. It's rooted in a much deeper wisdom, one that sees the entire board, not just the next move. It's always aiming for our ultimate good, even when we just can't see how.
And this leads to a really crucial question. If these two wills are always kind of dancing around each other, where does the real test of our faith, our character, our resilience, where does it actually begin? Well, the answer is incredibly simple, but it's also incredibly profound. It begins at the exact moment where what we want and what God wants for us diverge.
Which brings us right to our next point, this paradox between our desires and what's actually happening. This split creates a really challenging gap between the world we imagine for ourselves and the one we actually have to live in. Think about it for a second. You can spend months planning a new business venture down to the tiniest detail. You can pour your entire heart and soul into a relationship, being absolutely sure it's the one. You can do everything right, check all the boxes, but the final result just isn't guaranteed. And that can lead to so much confusion, so much heartbreak, and that big lingering question, why? Why didn't this work out?
So how in the world do we navigate all this uncertainty? Well, it starts with our first essential tool, and honestly, it's probably the most powerful one we have, the power of trust.
Trust, in this sense, is so much more than just a vague, warm feeling. It's actually a practical skill you can develop. It's the conscious choice to believe that there's a higher wisdom at play, even when things just don't make any sense from our limited perspective. This belief becomes like a shield, protecting us from that crushing weight of despair and anxiety when life throws us a curveball.
You know, when you really start to cultivate this kind of deep trust, your whole perspective begins to shift. You start to see that every single event, whether you initially label it as good or bad, is actually part of a much larger, purposeful design. Now, this doesn't mean you won't feel disappointment, but it brings this incredible sense of peace, contentment, and a resilience you never knew you had.
And working right alongside trust, hand in hand, is our second key tool, patience and perseverance.
Now, this is really important to get. True patience is not about passively waiting around or just giving up. Not at all. It's an active thing. It means you keep going, you continue the effort, you keep striving. But, and this is the absolute key, you let go of the final outcome. You do your part with excellence, and then you trust a higher power to handle the result. And doing that actually strengthens you from the inside out.
And the benefits of embracing this active kind of patience are just incredible. Instead of reacting to setbacks with frustration or anger, you start to develop this capacity to respond with wisdom and tolerance. It builds real courage, it deepens your inner peace, and it helps you mature, both emotionally and spiritually.
All right, so if we take this powerful combination of trust and patience, what does it tell us about the real secret of success?
So here it is, the ultimate lesson. Success isn't just about ticking off a list of everything we've ever wanted. Real, lasting success is about finding peace and contentment with the divine plan, whatever that may be. It's about aligning our inner world with the reality that's unfolding around us.
And look, this mindset isn't just some abstract philosophical idea. It produces real, tangible results in your life. Adopting this view cultivates a deep, profound sense of peace, a heart that's genuinely full of gratitude for what you have, the strength of patience when things get tough, and the courage to face whatever is coming next.
Now, this absolutely does not mean our desires are meaningless. No way. There's a beautiful, delicate balance here. Our desires are so important.
They give us direction, they give us purpose, they get us out of bed in the morning. But it's the divine will that ultimately provides us with wisdom and that true, lasting peace we're all searching for.
And so here we are, right back where we started. There is your will, and there is my will. We can see now that this isn't just a phrase about conflict, it's actually a complete philosophy for living a balanced, meaningful life. One that honors all of our human efforts, while placing our ultimate trust in a wisdom far greater than our own.
At the end of the day, it all comes down to a choice. A choice we have to make every single day, in moments both big and small. When your will clashes with reality, what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose frustration and despair? Or will you choose trust, patience, and the incredible peace that comes with surrender? The choice is always yours.